and GQ. I don't know how long ago that was. Hope everybody's doing well. I think there's a mosquito. Not a fan of that. All right. We got a lot to catch up on here. I think I finally figured out what the problem was over in this room. So, Lag ran into this, but it was inconsistent. He said that sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. He could usually get it to happen with a certain setup. But I saw somebody posted a playthrough of up to that point, and then the game locked up for them. So this is the first time we've got video evidence of this. And here's the noteworthy thing. He's trying to jump. He is able to spin, which this is inconsistent because the logic for spin says you have to be on the ground, but jumping isn't working. So he's like stuck in the geometry. There's something weird going on with the level geometry, and it's just this one area. Well, I checked it out. No, there's nothing wrong with the doorway. So I checked it out. These boards are CSG boxes, so they have their own solidity. But underneath them, these pipes had an L-shaped solidity of their own from before when the boards were there. Used to be it was just the pipes. And then I was thinking, you know what? The boards will make it more obvious that like this is like you can walk across this. So I added the boards on top of it. But the pipes still had their collision, which is fine. You can have overlapping collision. That's not a problem. What was a problem that I realized is that the collision itself for this, the transform was non-uniform, which is to say that the scale of it, it was like 2 times as big on the z-axis and like 2.3 on the y-axis and 2.5 on the x-axis. And the physics engine for Godot does not like that for collisions. And you can get weird, inconsistent results. So I never saw a problem with it. So even though I had set up the collision poorly on those pipes, which was no longer even necessary, the fact that the calculation is not super great with that kind of collider, that's probably what was going on there. I can't prove it because I can't reproduce it. So, I've changed it, and we'll see if that fixes that for the people that ran into it. The other issue that was super weird was in the crate room. And I saw this happen to multiple people, and I changed the boxes so they wouldn't try it anymore. There was this jump where it looked like you could kind of sequence break your way across. But every time someone tried it, it was like they were bonking their head right here. You can't actually see my mouse, I'm just now realizing. That's silly. Why would I not want you to see my mouse in this? Hold on. This is important. I have to get this out of my system. I have to get this out of my system. Capture cursor. And then we can move on to actually making stuff. There we go. So they would be over here and they would jump and it would look like they were bonking their head on something. In my mind, I was like, it's the stacked crates. Hi, Abram. I thought maybe that was it. Like maybe I put an invisible wall there to de-cheese it or something. I was like, there's got to be a reason that that's doing that. but I finally went in to check it out because it was happening to multiple people, and I couldn't remember why it was happening. And I checked it out. There's no invisible wall. I tried the collision in multiple ways. I was like, well, it's not happening on this box, which is the same box. It's not happening on this box over here, which is the same one. And then I tried it down on the ground, and I noticed I could kind of reproduce it. And what it turned out is these purple boxes you see are cinematic triggers. Whenever you enter them, there's some kind of cinematic logic that's supposed to run. So for instance, this one right here, this purple one on the right is for the little dead end cinematic where you unlock gear spin. So what that does is it grants you, there's a little bit of dialogue, you gain the ability to gear spin, and very minor but important, it pops up the lower left-hand corner hint on the controls to tell you, hey, gear spin with such and such button. So that's what this one does, and you will notice that it extends all the way up here just in case. And this cinematic, you may not remember there being a cinematic here because there's not really a visual cinematic here. What this one does, all it does is hides the hint about how to do the gear spin. Oh, nice, Abram. That's a fun one. Welcome in, Liari. Look at that Dupu go. So this one creates a little hint in the left corner, and this one removes it. Because once you get past this point, you've proven that you figured it out. You hit the right button. Good job. So anyway, what it turns out is cinematics have a natural, natural. I programmed it in. I've got something set up on cinematics that says whenever you enter a cinematic, zero out the player's velocity. Because by default, there's not really any dampening of your velocity. So if you were moving to the right into a cinematic zone, and the cinematic zone, let's say it's the one where the frogs start talking without talking to you specifically. You're overhearing them. If you walk into that zone and trigger that cinematic, you're going to maintain your velocity and just slide on off the screen, which is terrible. So I included a line that says, whenever you enter a cinematic, turn off your velocity, or just set it to 0 one time, and that's it. Which is fine for 99% of the cinematics in the game. But for this one, where there is no actual player cinematic going on, I do not want to adjust your velocity. And that was the problem. So I added a Boolean onto the cinematic that says whether or not do you want to turn off the player's movement at that when the cinematic starts. And it defaults to yes, but for this particular one, it's set to no now. So now, whenever you enter the cinematic, you don't get immediately stopped. And that might also be why Lag was saying when he was jumping against this cheese. I'm less sure on that one, because once you've done this cinematic, that should be it. Like, this cinematic does not repeat. So he shouldn't be able to jump against this cheese. So I don't know if that's what's going on there, but it's fine. He also said he had problems jumping against this wall, but there's no cinematic zone there. It's out here, so I don't know what that would be. But the point is, I think I solved a pretty major issue here that was completely locking people out of the back half of Prologue. And that was a silly one. And that's going to be a hard one to catch going forward. But it's just going to be important to watch out for using static bodies, because they don't scale easily. You have to mess with the collision zone individually. You can't just scale the whole thing inconsistently. It's a little bit annoying, but fine, whatever. What else? That was it. That was the major one, I think. I added some logging as well, because whenever people start the chapter 1 boss, whenever they enter that room, it crashes for some people. It was crashing consistently for Mr. Coffee. I'm hoping with this new logging, I can at least catch, what the actual problem is, but we'll see. All right, 15 minutes in, we haven't done anything. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get to it. All right. All right. Big thing. I need some more. We need to make some progress on chapter 2. I don't want to work on designing the chapter 2 big room yet. No, there was just some stuff going on. I don't want to get the big room laid out yet. First, I want to build some pieces for it. Some toys that the player can play with in that room. Your standard sort of like a springboard stand-in, something like that. Just some elements that can do things to make it an interesting area to play in. Okay, this is probably done. This is done. We want to fix the beds in chapter 1. They're not bouncy, and that's a problem. And additionally, in chapter everything, let's get a new module in. I would love, and I think a lot of people would love, some helpful elements for practicing guards. I think guarding is a little bit opaque. Guard handler. Originally, I actually had something show up on screen to show when the guard was active. Legs have actually been fine, honestly. It was just a big workout. Honestly, it was not as bad as working out for 2.5 hours or playing DDR for 2.5 hours. Because for the most part, there was a lot of map movement. There was a lot of nice, slow and steady stuff of like very carefully working my way through the level, interspersed with bursts of, okay, here we go, do a weird combination of button presses. So, pretty silly. Okay. So, here we go. Guarding. How does this work? I don't know if I want to do it this way. It's doing by get actual system time. This seems like a really bad idea. I mean, I get it, but I kind of hate it. So let's see. This may not even be working the way I think it's working. Yeah, all right, guard cooldown. Yeah, okay. So there's a guard duration and a guard cooldown. Who wrote this code? Practicing guarding. It's not really for practicing it. It's for being more transparent into how guarding works. So the way that the guard works typically is as soon as you start guarding, it starts a little timer. Tick 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 tick. There is a moment. Apparently, it's 166 milliseconds. Quick math. What is that? That's a sixth of a second. Is that right? So about 10 frames. So we get about 10 frames, or 0.16 seconds. Let's do this. Of guard active, followed by 0.33 seconds. where you cannot start another guard. Climbed up a tree. Oh, man. You know what? It's really coincidental because we also had a pet recently escape and not want to get back into containment. What a coincidence. All right. What a coincidence. All right, so you start the timer. As soon as when you're in combat and you're about to get attacked, you press A. You have a 1/6 of a second after pressing A that you are guarding. That's a 10 frames, which is very reasonable. 10 frames, tick, 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 where if the enemy hits you during this window, it applies the defense buff of you take 1 less damage. After that point, the timer keeps ticking for a 1/3 of a second, and until this timer gets to the very end, you cannot start another guard cycle. Once it gets to this, you can press it again, and it starts again. So if you spam it, then 1 out of 3 chance that you'll just get lucky. One out of 3. It's fine. The problem is that the game is not super transparent about this process, and so we want to, I guess, reveal that. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a module that, while it is equipped and it is your turn to guard, it will somehow show you some kind of timer mechanism. Like when it is time to guard, you can press the button and it will actually show you, hey, your guard is active and now your guard is not active. And it's blocked from starting again. So one possible way, I guess maybe like a radial. Like a sort of clock face. Maybe. You know, it's a really fun way for getting a nice eyeball of a 1/3. And this is supported with the power of math. Is you cut a region into half, and then you cut that half back by... Half is easy, right? Half is easy. It's always easy to eyeball a half, but a 1/3 is tricky. So what you do is you cut it in half, then you go back halfway, and then halfway back the remainder, and then halfway back the remainder, and halfway back, 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 and that's always exactly 1/3. So it's like, it could be something like this, where I show you... It's a lot of halves. It is. So it could be like tick, 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 tick. Like as soon as you press the button, a little timer shows... Like, is this too much information to give the user? Went into the guard animation during the blue part. Maybe. Maybe. That's not a bad idea. I guess the only tricky part is that there's a lot of really dumb stuff going on with swapping animations. We'll try this. We'll try this. At one point they did. No. At one point, what it did is whenever they were in the blue part, it would actually show a little shield over the players, like a little translucent shield. I would kind of like it to be a badge. I think I could kind of put this in the realm of like Wayward Compass tier of when you are new to the game and you're still learning the timing of things. Here's a 1-pointer. Here's a 1-point module that exposes a little bit of the game mechanics to you. Because it's like you don't need it, and once you learn it, you can take it off and never wear it again. So it could be a cheap one in the shop. It could be a cheap one in the module market that's available in Chapter 0 for, I don't know, like 25 or something. Or maybe even 20. So that like you wouldn't need much. Like you would be able to find the dough pretty quick. You start with 20 if you found the secret treasure chest. Yeah. So I think I'd like the theming to be like digital overlay, like for the robot to be seeing, you know, how things work. And so just like a series of modules that can tack on additional UI elements that could help you understand the game mechanics more clearly, and then once you've got them, you can free up that module space for other stuff. Especially if we add in a new module that increases the window, like makes blocking easier, you know? And then it gives a later game chance for this module to come back and be like, oh, wait, how much better is it? Well, let me just turn on this other module so I can experiment for a bit. And I'll be able to actually see, using the handy pie chart, you know, how much better is this new module that increases the, that makes blocking easier, more free. Because, I mean, 1/6 of a second is not long. As long as you're predicting it right, then you're fine, but still. What if also, while it's active, while it's ticking, it tracks damage blocked in the form of like at the moment that you get hit, it actually puts a little indicator there of when the damage came in. And so that would give you a nice, clear indication of, I was just a little bit too late on that one. The problem is I wouldn't have a nice, clear indicator for too early. That's tricky. You can't really do too early on that, can you? Unless we do an infinite line chart. So it does. Like it's a constant little chart here. And it's always scrolling to the left, to the right, to the left, to the left. And so you've got like a little indicator of here is now or something. Or maybe like here now is like, I don't know, here. And then the moment that you so you'd have to have it like this for this illusion to work. The moment that you press the block button, it spawns a indicator map here that like scrolls to show you the duration over time, and then it kind of pans off screen. And who knows how fast it moves, doesn't really matter. But it also tracks when you receive damage. And that way, if you are too early, then you will see like the damage indicator. Maybe like on the chart. You will see the damage indicator. Oh, I was too early for this one. I was just a little bit too early. Like, maybe it could even say... like, if I detect that a block started, like, less than 1/6 of a second later, then I'll say, like, okay, that was intended for this one. It was early. Or maybe I just leave that out and just let you kind of figure out how that works. I don't know. But a nice little UI element could be handy for that. I think the timeline idea might work. Like almost stock ticker kind of thing going on. Yeah, yeah, because we can use the guard handler. We can expose the variables. Guard handler is what? It's part of Battle Manager. Perfect. So we can reach into that, no problem. And then just display a little running chart of, oh yeah, you got this going on, you got that going on. I think it's doable. This could even be part of the guard handler. What is the guard handler? What is the guard handler? It's a node. It's just a node. So we could add a 2D overlay for guard handler somewhere. Would that go like up towards the UI zone, like towards the stats at the top? I don't want to cover up anything, and there's a lot of things that could be covered up accidentally with this. Yeah, it's gonna get a little bit ugly. It could be nice front and center. What is this? Oh, that was the shield. That was the shield icon that would appear on top of a player when defense was active, so we don't need that anymore. So what if we had guard HUD? What does that look like? 9-patch. We've got a spring launch. No, that's the old. No, not that one. We changed it. Spring toss. That's the one now. Action command, meter timing. That's the one. Meter timing. So we got this 9 patch here. Oh my gosh, it's Imp! Imp, welcome in. How was the rando? It's an invasion. Hi, Willow. Almost sub 2 hour. That's a pretty good time. That's a pretty good time, you gotta admit. Sounds good. Very good, very good. Can we do clip child here? Clip children, clip and draw. Hudson. It's gonna read it. Give it a second.
Hello. Probably won't be
Hello.
able to stay long, but I had to send more funds.
Oh, thank you so much. Hudson, I appreciate it. Oh wait, that's how that works. Okay, so that was a bad idea. I appreciate the funds. Thank you for the prime. I hope things are going well with you, Hudson. 57 months is quite a long time. Especially for a streak. Almost a year. So that's really something. Itchy. Schoolwork is insane, though. I imagine. Almost a year. That's what we say. That is what we say around here. What we'll do here is add a sprite 2D. I have a nice star for damage indication. It's great. It's a great star. What color is the star? That is the question. Oh, switch to nice. I expect to probably do a little bit of Mario Karting post-Christmas. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, it does look really good, doesn't it? Okay. So that's going to be on the chart here whenever you get hit. So we need a scroll speed, which I guess we'll measure in pixels per second. We'll just see what happens. You do want to play Galaxy 1 and 2 again? They're good games. Galaxy 2 was really nice. It had some fun stuff. Galaxy 1 kind of started a weird period for 3D Mario, which was this time of very linear 3D experiences that kind of stuck around until Odyssey shook things up. Galaxy 2 is really good. I don't know. 3D World is so good. It's really, really good. There's so many levels that do so many different things. And it does a great job of breaking away from the 2D Mario style of, you know, everything is a tile on a grid, which gets so old so fast. Mario is supposed to be the super creative game, and it's just like, no, it's just, we got some graph paper out and we filled in some blocks, and that was it. 3D World is nice and like dense, really good levels that I think appeal very nicely to people who want a bit more challenge. I think 3D World was really good with that. It kept things going pretty hard. All right. So this is going to be our guard handler such and such. Let's close this. Yeah, I really want to know what they're going to do with that. Bowser's Fury was obviously very experimental, and I don't know where they're going to go with it. It's like, is that what the next 3D Mario is going to be like? Open world Mario? Because that's kind of what it was. It was just like, yeah, all the stars in the game, they're here. Just run around and collect stars. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. It did feel a bit sparse in places. All right, here we go. So we need the damage indicator, because we're going to duplicate that. We need the color rectangle, because we're going to append things to that. And that one needs to be clip and draw. And then a controllable function here. Guard HUD speed. We're going to say 200 pixels per second. So let's see here. Whenever an enemy attacks the player. Oh, we need to connect a signal to that, don't we? Where are all the signals with that? Is that a battle? That's not a battle event. Show me all the damage indicator stuff of note here. Create damage indicator happens here. So there's our guard handler right here. So we could hook it in right here. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Is blockable. Right, but like, what if... What is guard damage reduction coming from? I want to make sure that you can't block on behalf of the enemies. Okay, by default, it is one for everybody, but like... But like, oh, is guarding would only presumably happen if it's the player's turn, right? 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 Uh-oh. Right? I guess let's check. Give me some piggles. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see what happens here. So if I'm attacking, all right, I need to see the output here. Here we go. If I'm attacking you. No, guard handler is not happening here. Why not? Now it is. Okay. Why does... Okay, what's controlling that? What's actually controlling whether or not I can guard? Oh, right there. It is enemy turn. Okay, we're fine. It's right there. All right, good. Okay. So is guarding only gets set if... Okay. So let's see here. We're going to expose a method here. On player side. On player side. Damage. Hey, casual. And maybe we'll pass in a Boolean of whether or not there was a... No, we don't need to, because it's based on is guard... Oh, well, no. It is. Because it might be unblockable. It might be unblockable. Or you might be asleep. Is that a thing we manage? I mean, granted, sleep is not in here. It's all based in Garfield. Sleep is not considered yet, but at some point, status effects could prevent you from blocking. So let's keep that in mind. Guard damage reduction. Typically doesn't come up. But we'll say right here, battle manager dot guard handler dot on player side damage. Just like that. That's fine. Whether they actually successfully blocked it or not, we're passing that in to the guard handler to say, hey, it just happened. It happened again. We're gonna have a damage star is going to be damage indicator dot duplicate, and then damage star. After duplicate, do you still have to do add child? Let's see here. Go duplicate example. Oh, and then yeah, you do have to add it to the tree. All right. Well, then let's add it to the tree. Glad you enjoyed it, Abram. I think it's pretty fun. I'm fairly excited about it. I'm pretty excited about it. And it's got some great music. Nudge, nudge. Let's see. So we want to put this in the color rect. Damage star. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, say no more. Child dot position dot x minus equals guard HUD speed times delta. I think that'll work. Damage star dot global position equals color. No, I need a. Where does that go? Where does that go? What is color X position? Is it the upper left corner, right? Yeah. Maybe I could actually change its pivot. No. No. Just take its global position and add X and half of Y size. Maybe there's a function for this on color rect. Under canvas item. Can I get like no, maybe not canvas item. Maybe control exposes anchor. I don't think I can get the location I want. I'll just calculate it. It's fine. To add mod support, it's gonna take a lot of work, and it's gonna be pretty late before I can get that going. If mod support is available, it's going to be limited to custom enemies, and those enemies will be fairly simple. Like, the bare bones I think that we could do is have like 2-frame animation style enemies, kind of like in Bug Fables. So have kind of a template sheet, or maybe not even template. Maybe it's just like multiple files where you can very quickly define like, okay, the idle animation is this and this frame. The walking animation is this, these frames. The hurt animation is these frames. So you can like build out a sprite sheet. And then the really tricky thing is then moves. Like, you could use moves from the game. That's one idea. But alternatively, exposing a very simple scripting system for building custom moves. I've tried to architect the engine around that. It's going to be hard. I need to see if it's possible to make that doable in just Godot. Like, let Godot be the editor. I'll need to, at some point after we play Starground, I want to look and see how Chip does the modding system for that, and see if that's done in Godot, or if he just, I don't know, exposes a bunch of hooks. Because Godot has a built-in, like, mod supporting framework. I just don't know how you kind of hook into it yet. Global position plus color rect dot size. Vector 2 color rect dot size dot x color rect dot size dot y over 2 damage star dot global position equals that. I think this works. Okay, let's see how well this does. We can skip turn. Did not work. Nope, not seeing it. Stop. Remote into the battle manager. Guard handler. Guard HUD. 9 patch. Oh, they're here, but they're invisible. Because I forgot to turn them on. So I need to specify damage star needs to be visible. Try again. Okay, where is it? It's here. It lives. But where? Increase the scale of it. Keep going. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's down there apparently. This is supposed to be clipping. So that's cool. Why is it down there? Oh, why is it not using the global positioning? I know why, because of the order that I did this in. I need to add child first. Okay, and then this needs to use clip and draw. Try again. Love a good slow motion pig. Hey, all right, good. I think I want him a little bit smaller, maybe? A little bit smaller. Let's do a nice even 0.1 here. Okay, nice. All right, the next piece is the color rectangle itself. I want to create a new color rectangle. When you duplicate a node, does it duplicate the children? With all of its property signals and groups. Okay. I don't know if it does. I guess one way we could find out is I could add a color rectangle to this guy here. That is black. And see if that copies over. Yes, it does carry the children over. Okay, that's good. That's actually good. Ooh, no, hang on. I think I do want to build this from scratch. I think I want to build it from scratch. Because I want to make sure the size is correct. Okay, so in addition to adding the star, We're going to add the guard window. No, this isn't when you take damage. This is on guard. On player guard. Okay, so when you start guard, guard rect is color rect dot new. Guard rect dot size. Ooh. Is all right, so the X is the HUD speed, pixels per second. It's that many pixels times the number of seconds in the guard duration. And then the Y is, I don't know, I guess it's the color rect dot Y. No, dot size dot Y. Then we're gonna add it to the color rect. We'll figure out a color as well. Z index, we'll probably want to make the Z index of the damage indicator a little bit higher to make sure it draws on top. Cool. And then the position. Is there. Let's see if this works. Oh, look at that. That's a lot longer than a second. That size is a little bit on the big side. Oh, that's not clipping. It's not clipping. It's still white. It's still white. It's white forever. Okay. Why? The size is 33,000. How did you get 33,000? Milliseconds. Need to divide by 1,000 there. That makes sense. Oh, look at that. That's, you know what? That's pretty useful, I gotta say. I still don't like how the stars aren't clipping. Is it because of the Z index? It might be because of the Z index. That's really good. That's actually handy. That's actually handy. Let's set the size or the color of the guard rect. Dot modulate. Nice sign. No, a nice dark cyan sounds good. Why not? And then we're gonna have the cooldown rectangle. And instead of using the guard duration, it uses the guard cooldown. And its position, we actually have to add in the guard rect size.x. And this one can be Kind of a dark red, maybe? Let's go dark olive green, why not? Hey, Yami. Welcome in. Good to see you again. We're working on adding a little heads-up display that you can activate with a module that is going to be kind of like a training wheels tool for learning the timing for the guard. So right there, so it will show you when the damage occurred and whether it happened during the window where your block is active or on cooldown. Oh, if I mash it though, oh, something's wrong there. Hold on, does that actually work? Well, it landed in the blue, so it's tough to say. Okay, landed in the green. Landed in the green. Landed in the green. Can you get lucky? Can you get lucky? Yes, you can get lucky if you just mash. But by design, it should not be very often. That dark green color is fairly ugly. We need to fix that. Okay, this guy right here needs to have a better Z-index, I think. And this guy needs to have an even better Z-index. Maybe not. Early time, let me see, this is... Something amazing might happen. He's been murdered. No! How does flip process work in this? You know what? I guess I could just do this, and then I can just have this as a regular Z-index. That would be terrible, GQ. Absolutely terrible. All right, dark olive green is awful. Gray, slate gray, that seems good. Uh-oh. Right, because I adjusted things. Color rect is now just under card HUD. My mistake. All right, let's give this a go. Boom. Star still doesn't respect... the, Dragonair, easy. Good try, GQ, but Dragonite doesn't count. The star still does not respect... Wait, hang on. Keep going. There, okay. Let's mess around with this. Why is that star not respecting the clip? The clipping. Let's check the remote here. Make sure everything looks the way I expect it to. So is it this guy? It's this guy right here. Z-index 1. If I change it to 0, it works properly. If I change the Z-index on this, does this still work properly? No. Ooh, no, it does not. Okay. Then the order of operations matters quite a bit. No, the star would always come. Is there a case where... it could look a little bit ugly. But I think if we just change this damage indicator to a 0Z index, we're fine. Okay, the next problem here. Get ticks millisecond is not the play here because it doesn't respect... it's using real time instead of game time, which usually doesn't matter, but it does mean that if we play the game in slow-mo, like when we're debugging, it lies and it's just wrong. So we don't like that. We don't like that at all. So this is keeping track of guard start time, which is like an actual system time. So instead, let's just store a variable called now. Instead of calculating a now. And this is not going to be true now, but it should work. It's a good guess. Oh, well, that's an easy one. Uh-oh, now the guard timer isn't working at all. So that's fun. What did we break? How did we break this? Okay, so guard start timer, guard start time starts at 0. So let's start this at negative 99999. If it has punctuation, it gets easy. It's true. Petition to remove punctuation from the minigame. There we go. Uh-oh. Well, that doesn't look right. Uh-oh. Well, now I'm just blocking forever, so that can't be right either. Guard start time equals now. Oh. Because now is measured in microseconds? Really? Okay, but delta is in milliseconds, so we just need to multiply that by 1,000. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, too late. Oh, too late. Now that I have the time, it's really hard to get it wrong. Too early. Is this readable? Is this at all readable of what's happening here? Like if you look at that, is that helpful at all to determine like, oh yeah, yep, there's the timing window. I don't like that gray. It's too gray. I need a bluer gray. Okay, I can get rid of that. This slate gray is not doing it for me. Ooh, dark slate gray. Maybe. Yeah, that looks better. What do we think? What do we think, guys? Like, it kind of helps you see. Yeah, so the idea is that I'm going to add an early game module that you can buy for cheap. That is going to enable this little heads-up display. It shows you when you pressed, and it shows the length of the window. So whenever I press the button, it shows how long the block window is, and then how long you gotta wait before trying again. And so you can see kind of like, okay, yeah, you're in the right window, so that was a successful block. But if I'm too late, or yeah, if I'm too late, it's like, oh no, the damage happened before the block. Or if I'm too early, they'll show like, oop, nope, too late there. That's the window you want to be in. It really does, doesn't it? It's like that might, I could see that helping a little bit. If I make it cheap enough, then I think people would be on board with like, okay, yeah, I'll try that out. That could help me see the timing. And then once they figure out the timing, they're like, okay, I can unequip this and reclaim that module slot for something more useful now that I understand the timing. So then the next thing we would need is when... let's see here. I want to clean these up a bit, which would be get children, filter a.position.x is less than negative, I don't know, 1,000. Then delete them. Stupid dad. I mean, admittedly, it is in the title. Mario. Let's get out Krita and make a little module icon for this. Also, we need to make the actual module. So this is gonna be easy because this is gonna be like Strong Start in that it has no on-equip effect. It just is what it is. Metroid cart. Oh man, they should make a Metroid cart. They could give Metroid a motorcycle or something. Metroid loves driving motorcycles. He doesn't afraid of anything. Let's see. So this one is gonna be called what? The guard HUD. What do you call this? Guard visor. Oh, so many characters. You know what? Hunters had a ton of characters that, like, I don't know, I wasn't interested in at all. Is it guard visor? The other evil sin? Gosh, that keeps happening. Bird person? Guard visor. Enables a overlay during battles to visualize guard windows. No, guard timing. Let's do that. Be Phantoon. Be Big Kraid. I hope the new Metroid adds like a really, really, really big Kraid. Like a particularly large one. Like not just this like, oh wow, only the top half of him fits in the screen of the Super Nintendo. No, I want huge. I want Shadow of the Colossus Kraid. That would also be acceptable. Pocket Kraid. Don't see anything. We're gonna make this one nice and tiny and cheap. Guard visor. Next up, we need to do this. So we take the guard handler and on ready. Is guard HUD enabled equals, well, do you have the module equipped? If you do, then we'll show it, otherwise we won't. Yeah, let's just put this whole guard HUD here. And just say guard HUD dot visible equals is enabled. What do you not like? Oh, that's what you don't like. Just Slippy. Just Slippy. All right, I think that's good. Next up, module shop inventory. We're gonna add the new one. That's it. That's all we have to do for now. The module shop inventory management is very simple right now because there's not a lot of, because it's just chapter 1 in the demo. As this game gets bigger, there's going to be like, oh, this one only appears in the shop if you've gotten this far in the game, etc. Okay, so it's not visible. Good. And if we go to the hub, let's go back A. We should see it in mods shop for cheap. It's gonna look weird, but there it is. Enables an overlay. Okay, good. Okay, so we need a special little visor thing. And there it goes. Now it shows up. Who are you talking about, GQ? Whew. I mean, there certainly could be. That's very possible. Okay, modules. Where's my modules? Here we go. All right. It needs to be kind of visory, right? How do you visualize like a? It's gonna be like a HUD. It's like a console. It is down here somewhere. Hold on. Okay, I need to remember that these have like a little bit of there we go. Go over that with just a big ol' hello. Can't fill in the because it's oh, interesting. Slightly transparent in the middle. That's not on purpose, but it's not a big deal. All right. Console, a little console-y bit. Let's get a nice old-fashioned you know the style. It was the style at the time. Very retro. Okay. Little smudging here and there. Looks so great. And then we'll give it a little give it a little bit of no. Keeping in mind that this can be color modulated, that's only going to affect the screen color. It could affect this, but not as much. What if we go pure white here for the middle? We could even put in some of the Frog script, but in a in like a pixely blocky format. Are there any filters for like pixelation? There is. Okay. So why don't we just kind of do some vaguely scribbly something or other, and then hit it with a pixelize. Looks great. I think that's fine for a module. All right. Sure. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Module index 8. The name. Guard visor. It's appearing more as like a console. Guard monitor. Guard monitor is okay. Let's modify that. We'll leave the internal name the same. No color modulation for this one. All right, there we go. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to zip into the hub. All right, here we go. It's cheap now. All right, but we're not going to put it on yet. We're going to go get in a fight. We're going to see that it doesn't show up. We're going to run away in slow motion. Show with perfect timing, you can get it on the first green light. All right, now we're going to throw that module on. Now it's here. Okay, here's another issue. I don't want it to show up when it's your turn. So let's fix that as well, and then we're done. Add a pilot horse. Someday pilot horse is on. Okay, that looks good. Let's go over to Game Manager here. And let's have us give me a guard visor that is active. And jump straight into battle. A mean banana. Okay, so right now it doesn't show up. And then it does show up. That's good. You know what? I want to increase the speed of that to 300 pixels. That's going to stretch it out more. Mean Banana, I feel like, looked the least good of the sizzle reel items. There we go. Because for all of them, I was trying to get away with as little logic as possible. And so I gave it like really bad FPS controls of A and D turning the camera, and then so no strafing or anything. But the result is that I couldn't actually get them in frame very well when they were chasing the camera. It was silly. Here Come Piggles was so unoptimized that I had to capture it at like a few frames per second and then export that. They were so many. They had so many things they could say. So many mean, cruel things they could say. Let's see here. No, 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 no. No, please, please. Oh. Yeah, and they do this when they get when they actually catch up to you. They do, yeah, that looks great. That looks great. It's good stuff. Curtis actually vaguely works. Wait, does he? No, he doesn't. He doesn't work at all. There's no working with Curtis. Duck Thief, however. Duck Thief is, of course, a work of art. You can steal this duck. You see that duck over there? You can steal it. My duck! Into the woods. Horse Pilot is not good at all. It's just a scene. There's no control at all. Even the camera is pre-baked. Oh yeah. We're chilling by the ice. It's so silky smooth. There you go. They are all playable. You just can't really do much of anything with them. Skull Puncher is nothing at all. There's no buttons to press. It just does this. The trailer is nothing like gameplay. It's a management. It just plays that little cinematic when you send your pilot horse out. I should just have this up all the time. Lag would love it. Punch, punch, punch. All right, we did it. We got a new... Get that out of here. Wait, were there any others? Here Come Piggles barely runs. The GQ special. GQ Stream Simulator. There was literally nothing to show on this. This is it. That's the entirety of it. Fight or Flightless. There's no buttons here. That's a pre-baked camera animation. Blorps. Blorps. I don't know why I made this. This one was a bad idea, but it's compelling. All right, we got a whole new module done. That hopefully will help in the early game with people just starting, and it gives you something to buy. I think that's an important piece of it. Is it actually gives you something you can purchase in the early game in the module shop. I think we need more of those. Okay, well, that's done. Bouncy beds. Can we do bouncy beds? We didn't do any work on chapter 2, so that's awesome. That's really cool of us. That's really cool and neat. Show me the bed. There's the bed. So the bed has its own solidity. For better or for worse. Okay, let's bring up the in block. So the way this worked is it's got a little area on top of it. So this is the solidity. Then it's got a bounce interact. How does that work? How does bounce interact work? Can I just apply this? Can I just slap this on bounce on the parent? Okay, bounce grounds is colliders. Slide collision. And it's got to be a low angle. So that might work. Maybe. Maybe. Let's try it. Slap it on the bed. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? It'll only work for the elements that contain... Well, see, that's the mesh. There's the static body. Is that what would count? That's the pillow. I want this particular plane? No. No, I want the mattress. There, this one. So if I put this under here, will that work? Add a bouncy NPC. We already have Biggle. Biggle the Piggle. Did I program this well enough that it just works on its own? No. We're colliding with something here, but it's not the thing we think it is. Oh, wait, I didn't apply that. I applied that to the mesh. I want it to apply to the static body. Okay, maybe it will work. Because the static body should be the thing that is recognized as the parent object for that collision. Hey! It doesn't wiggle everything like I would want it to. I would love it if this bed was wiggleable. We can do that though. We can do that. It's just gonna look a little bit weird. We have to export wiggle node override as a node 3D to wobble. Oh, never mind. We already have this. It's to wobble. We just have to set the to wobble as the bed. And then we're done. It might actually be that we already did it. We already wrote that code. Let's see. Let's see if this works. That's not bad. Now, it seems weird that the wood bounces. Can I maybe make the blanket the wobbly bit? Oh, Posey! Yay! Does it look okay if the blanket is wobbly? That looks fine. That's fine. Like, the wood shaking is weird. Okay. Let's do the same thing to the end beds and we're done. So add this to the cube, set the plane. So go to... Scenes 01 room E. Bed. All right, so both of these, I need to make these editable. Apply this to the mattress. Set the plane as the bounciness. Editable children. Apply to the mattress. Make the blanket the bouncy bit. Have a good night, Al. We'll see you around. Thanks for the pibs. All right, there we go. We're good. Oh, another thing that was mentioned is that the teapot has no collision. Is that still... is that... yeah. We never bothered. Because, of course, why would we? Oh, and that has no... Alright, well, let's just add a little cylinder collider. I think that's reasonable. It doesn't need much. Just something to be solid with. And we're just going to say use collision and hide it. Done. Kettle. No one's kettle is safe. You? Boom. You have collision now. Are there any other kettles used in the game? I don't think so. Let's do a quick full code based check for kettle. Room F technically has one, but it's inaccessible. So we're good. There we go. We added so much there. The bed is now bouncy. Absolutely stellar worked. It's done. We did nothing for Chapter 2 movement mechanisms, but it was a late start. I did. That one took me a little bit to figure out what was going on. apparently there were 2 copies of the water. From when the water was kind of shaped a little bit differently. And the one that had the splash logic on it was the old water, and it was invisible. So 1 copy of the water is visible, but had no hitbox. The other copy of the water was invisible, but still had the hitbox. And the hitbox is what causes you to warp back where you were and play the splash animation and sound. So it was still playing the sound, but the splash that was added was parented under the invisible water, and therefore itself was also invisible. So that was fine. All right, well, next stream will be Wednesday, and we will try and get some Chapter 2 work in place. Yeah. There's still the major bug right now. The major mystery tour is Chapter 1 boss fight. It locked up for Dupu, and I still don't know why. The logs are not super clear on what happened, so I just don't know. No, Snail King. Let's see. Update my feedback spreadsheet. Still not sure about this one. I'm gonna mark this crash in red because it's a big deal. Somebody said that the in sleep effect did something weird. Specifically, they said, found a glitch. I enter frog sleep, but the screen didn't adjust. That was in Coffee's chat, I think. So I have no idea what to make of that. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to small or photon. Yeah, I have no idea what they're even describing there, so it's tough. Let's see here. Good music. Good music. Yeah, let's go hang out with Small. I think that would be fun. He's doing Satisfactory, which I'm just not going to play. I would enjoy it. And I don't have time for enjoying mini games. I already spent a lot of time on Silk Song. We can't keep running around like that. Silk Song was a hoot. Gotcha. I had to go back and look up a few things I missed for 100%. Apparently bosses are not included in 100%, the way that the game tracks completion percent. So you could totally miss a boss and still get 100%. That's weird. It's just some optional bosses. But nothing major. Didn't miss anything major. I finally learned how some of the mechanics worked that were never very clearly explained. But I'll vent on that another time. Everybody have a good night. I'll be back Wednesday. Bye.